Hi everyone and welcome to RevMax.com. In this video tutorial I want to show which was what I believe to be one of the most powerful features of our software here, and that's our group by statistics. Group by statistics are stats that give you an insight into your campaigns like none other. These statistics are what give you an extreme competitive advantage. So let me show you how to access these and then kind of how to leverage these to your advantage. And I believe after watching this video, your mind's probably going to go crazy figuring out ways that you can jump your competitors' campaigns. So as soon as you log into RevMax.com's self-hosted tracking platform, you have our dashboard here, and it shows all your campaigns, so you can quickly identify your winners and your losers and your high ROI and all that. To get to the group by campaign stats, you have to click on this icon right beside which campaign you want to look at. So for example, this campaign here, campaign 5, it's doing the most profit and a pretty steady ROI. So I can click this button right here and bring up the individual campaign statistics. Now you can also access this by clicking on reporting and campaign stats, and you have to make sure it's selected right here. Now, if you don't have it selected, you're going to get an error. So you want to make sure that when you go to the campaign stats that you click here and select the campaign, or just go from the dashboard. I personally like to go from the dashboard because I can look at my dashboard, see what campaigns are winning, which ones are not, and then take it from there. So once we click that, you're going to see we've got this screen brought up, and we have all of the details into our campaign. We have a snapshot of how it's performing overall, pretty much the same thing you see on the dashboard. You can go down, you can look at the offers performance, like the offers inside the campaign. You can look at the landing page performance. We only have one landing page that's active, so if you're split testing, this would be very beneficial. But where the good stuff is right down here for the group metric performance. So this is where you're going to get that really good stuff, that stuff that allows you to create extremely high ROI campaigns where you're going to make the most money. So the first thing you want to do is you want to select a metric to look at. My favorite to look at right at the top is a manufacturer, and I'm just going to do an all-time view of it and click refresh. And now you can see what manufacturer is performing the best out of your traffic. So in this example campaign, Samsung is doing the most volume, but it's also not doing the highest ROI. Now, if we scroll down here a little bit, you're going to see LG has a 127% ROI. But if we get on further, ZTE's got a 318% ROI. Wow, that's crazy. So now we know that if we want to go set up a new campaign, what I would do in this situation is I would go to the same traffic source that I'm running this campaign on, and I would create a new campaign just targeting the manufacturer ZTE. So I wouldn't change anything other than just targeting ZTE, because look at this. The ROI is so high, our earnings per click are 46 cents. So that means we can go in and bid very high out the gate. So this is where you get your competitive advantage, because people that aren't tracking, other affiliates that aren't tracking this detailed, they're going to go in and they're going to set their bid at maybe 10, 20 cents. Well, you know that this is going to convert at 46 cents. So you can really go that high and still break even, and so you can take over a lot of placements that way. Even if you go in with a 25-cent bid, you're likely going to outbid a lot of people, and you're going to get a lot of that traffic. So without a doubt, this is one of my secret weapons to discovering high ROI campaigns and creating a bunch of high ROI campaigns, which make or break my month. Now, if we can also drill down a little further. Let's say if we just want to go to the device name. So this not only gives us the actual manufacturer, it gives us the device that's performing the best. And so you can see this will break down all the Samsungs, and we scroll down, and it'll show you the ones that are losing. It break down all the HTCs, break down all the LGs. So if we get down here to the ZTEs, you can see the majority of the ROI is coming from these two devices. So if possible at your traffic source, maybe you just want to limit to these devices. Now, the more granular you get, the less traffic you're going to get. That's why I just recommend starting out just targeting all the ZTE devices and then starting to pluck them out that way. You can also group by a lot of other things, and all of these metrics are standard inside of the RevMax self-hosted tracker, meaning you don't have to add anything else. You don't have to add these into your links. It's automatically going to track the manufacturer. It's also going to track an operating system, which is important. So if you're running iOS and Android campaigns, then you're going to have that. Now, of course, this is an Android campaign, so you're just getting Android, and this is an older operating system. But sometimes we see this as well. If you're promoting in some of the third world countries or kind of offbeat areas, you're going to see a lower operating system because they're older devices that people are still using. So that's another great way to find out campaigns that are working and to give you a competitive advantage, because most advertisers that set up campaigns, they're not going to have this data. They don't know it. So by having this data at your fingertips, you're really able to drill down and create campaigns based off what works. Now, you're going to find that a lot of this has to do with the display size. The size of the screen makes a tremendous difference on how the campaign views, how your landing pages view. So you can use that to really tailor your landing pages to make things look really good. You can see here we also have the option to isolate the landing page. So if you're split testing, say 10 landers, you can see which lander performs the best on what screen size. And again, that's another opportunity to make a lot of ROI. So we can go down, and there's many other things we can choose. It's just the browser that people are using. I know this is a big one for a lot of pop-up campaigns, because what browser is showing that pop-up in the best fashion. This is Android's default here. Unknown, sometimes we don't have the browser is not database. Safari Mobile, Firefox. So this is another huge metric that we can go to a traffic network and say, hey, I want all your Safari traffic. Hey, I want all your Firefox traffic. And a lot of times, most of these networks, even the self-serve ones, will allow you to isolate these in your campaigns from the very beginning. So this is a way, and I think your head's probably spinning right now about the number of things that you can do. If you're doing lead gen in the United States, another big one is being able to track down by the city. If we're able to collect that data for your campaign, you can see what cities are performing the best. And that way, when you go to do a media buy, you're not just targeting all the United States. You can actually target specific cities that work the best, or even specific states, and start eliminating states that do not work for you. You're also free to pass in as many tokens as you would like to your campaigns. So a token is basically a macro that you append to the end of your link, and you can do this to maybe track your ads or your placements. So let's say you're going to a traffic source, and you know that the 300 by 250 above the fold converts the best, or historically performs the best for you. You can set a token for that, so you can tell right here inside the RevMax self-hosted tracker what's going to work best for you and what's not. And you can add just I think it's up to 8 to 10 tokens inside of there, and it will display right here inside of this report. But grouping by this really gives you an endless amount of ways to optimize. This is why you hear a lot of advanced marketers say, well, when I first go into a campaign, I just throw everything at it and see what works, and I pluck that data out. And that's how I go about testing campaigns. When I go into a traffic source, I first approach them and say, okay, I want to do a $10,000 test. I want all the traffic that you can send me, and then I analyze it, and then I start breaking up my campaigns on what works. Now, the good thing about the RevMax self-hosted tracker is you can set up redirects based on this data, meaning that you can send Android traffic to one campaign, you can send iOS traffic to another campaign, you could send Samsung's to a separate campaign, you could send the Firefox browser on iOS to a whole different campaign. So using our smart routing system, you're able to really create dynamic campaigns where one campaign link is not really one campaign, it's multiple campaigns that produces the highest ROI. So without a doubt, this is probably the most sought after feature and my favorite feature about our tracking system that we've developed here. So I hope this helps you. I hope it makes you as much money as it's made us. In my opinion, this data and these reports are worth the monthly license fee altogether. But by creating these campaigns and then redirecting, you just have so many different options. So thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know. We're more than happy to help you to make sure that you're routing everything correctly, and there's no questions that you have unanswered. But thanks so much for watching. Enjoy the RevMax self-hosted platform.